Good evening. This is LuciferApollo again here with a new podcast. Today we're going to talk about a strange subject, something I'm being very curious about, and it's called body jumping, meaning to hijack another person's body either after death or while you are alive. Wiwu is someone that understands this subject very much, so she will be our special guest. But we have also Luke and DJ to add to the conversation with their own points. So let's begin. Which is the most optimal point to jump into another person's body, another vessel, after death or while one is alive?
Well, right there, first of all. And second of all, I need a coffee, you know?
No, you don't need a
Oh
coffee.
gosh.
Let's do it
Woman
wrong.
telling me I'm without coffee. How dare you?
You started to ask me all sort of questions and I don't even have a coffee, so who knows, maybe I will get angry and jump in another body just because I don't have the coffee in here. Anyway,
Yeah, let me more coffee.
I think that the optimum moment to do this is at the point where you're dying, you know?
When you're dying.
Mm-hmm.
But I believe that when you're dying, that's also the process in where you can manifest a dimension for you to inhabit. You know, a moment in time becomes an eternity, so it could be the expansion of a universe, right? I know we talked about the subject before, where that's where the moment of dying is the moment of transition. So, in your point of view, it can be used to enter another person's body within the universe that we are inhabiting now, right?
Well, all the universes that you are talking about are actually happening in your mind, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it depends on what you basically want to do. How aware are you in the moment when you die? And what you want to do, because most of the people when they are dying, they don't have a plan in their mind. Oh my god, I should do this when I'm dying, or I should do that, because they are basically mostly afraid of death and they don't understand what they could do when they are dying, you know?
Well, I believe that your entire life is meant for you as a preparation for death. Most humanity are just worried about the mundane activities of surviving and reproducing and advancing in the physical reality. I'm not saying these things are wrong, but we are here in a finite amount of time. We can die at any moment. Being that this reality is temporary, I imagine that we should be preparing for something which is more real. Is this reality real? In your
As
opinion?
anything
Hello, hello everyone. Hello everyone. This is Luke. I would like to talk about what Lucifer asked, and yes, I believe that uh, the moment a person should choose to jump from to another body, it will be the time of just before death, because that way you can keep all your experiences, your memory, your knowledge, your all the things that you did in your life that you are about to die. So you, when you jump to another, if you can jump to another body, you're going to have that power, that knowledge that will give you an advantage in your new form, in your new body that you're going to inhabit. That I that that's one of the things that I think, I believe that the royals, like the Queen Elizabeth II,
Hmm.
people say that she just jumped to another body, or that previously to her husband Prince Philip they really do that kind of stuff moments before they die. That's what people say.
But could they have jumped into the baths of the children or their sons? I mean, into what body
Of course.
you can jump? Well,
Oh, oh. Yeah, that's a great question. I believe that I will choose to jump into for example, a relative, um, like this Prince Philip. He died when he was like 98 or 99 years old, I guess.
mhm.
Probably he jumped to the body of his great grandchildren, one of them. Because why that? Because that way you are in a new body. You are get to get some more knowledge, more experiences, and you are maturing with all the previous knowledge. So in my case, I will rather choose to jump into a children body. That way, I can learn with more time
Well,
to mature my new mind, my new knowledge. Yeah.
what do you think? Could a royal like the Queen Elizabeth or her husband jump into another body? I don't think they are that sophisticated.
Man, honestly, if you have a body prepared in advance, like for example, a cloned body, then things are pretty simple, you know. You can jump in it directly. You keep that body in a subconscious status, you know,
Hmm.
not quite aware, but let's say in a sort of comatose state, right?
So, for example,
Because when you
somebody like the children of of the Queen, she could not really jump into them because they are conscious, right? They are aware. They have their own
you
entity.
you can't jump into an aware being, you know, because you would have to literally get rid of the awareness of that being, you know, so that you can inhabit that body. It's a little bit difficult to do that. So the easiest way is to have either a body prepared, as I told you, which with our technological leap now it's pretty possible, you know.
Hmm.
Or if not,
I have a
Wu,
question. Well, I have a question for Wu and for Lucifer and yeah,
Sure.
the dinosaur dust. Since Wu, she just said that a very important thing that um, someone maybe it's gonna be difficult to jump into a body that has some awareness. My question is, for example, when people talk about like in the Catholic Church, the possession, uh, like a spirit possess another person, uh, how that let's say spirit, let's call it spirit or demon or spirit, how can possess another person if that person has awareness? How can that demon, let's say, uh, uh, erase or block for an amount of time that awareness and jump inside and take possession of that body? Do you guys know how can they do that?
well, if you would have let me finish, I would have came to that part too, but
Okay, well, do it.
Okay.
well, where were you? We Yeah, so basically, you either have a body prepared, or if not, you have to find a compatible body for you, you know? Either it's from directly bloodline, because it's
Hmm.
easiest for you to have access to a body in your bloodline has already a compatible um,
Hello.
brain, which is wired in the way you need it, you know?
Hmm.
Because you share the same usually in a bloodline people share the same genetical memories, and the brain is much more compatibly wired, you know. And if you don't have access to that either, you either fight find a body which is in a human which is in a comatose state,
When
or you have to if the human is aware, you have to bring him or her in a sort of trance mode, mental mode, in which you can, how to put it, jump, let's say, jump, because you need to have that compatible frequency, if you want to call it like this, in which you can actually get into that body and either agree with the aware human with which you are going to inhabit it together, or if you are let's say a more powerful spirit, you just knock that spirit out.
Look open an
Yeah,
interesting
that's
subject
how
about.
possessions actually happen. You either knock that spirit out from there, or the soul, or how you call it. It's all basically it's all mental in a way, or you just shut it up,
Luke brought something
for a while.
interesting. Uh, in
Mm.
order for that, when a person gets possessed, normally they are not conscious. They lose the memory of that time when they were possessed. Well, that's what I have here. So, in another entity or another aspect of the self enters the possession of the body of the vessel. So, in a way, you're right. For someone to possess another body, that person cannot be conscious. I guess it has to be like in a coma. So, in a way, like a demonic possession would be similar to taking a body of another person, isn't it?
Man, in a coma, it's easier to do it, because if that being is not aware, you don't have to actually wait until that being or gets to that mental trance in which you can have access to his brain map, so that you can use it. If the being is aware, you have to wait until it relaxes and it gets to exact trance state in which you can have access to that map, to use it.
Yeah. DJ, anything you want to add? Any questions about the conversation? DJ?
Yeah, so I would say that body jumping, maybe you should, before you die, during your life, you should probably practice being spiritual before you try and. I mean, I don't think that an average person could just like live and die and know how to do that. Because I mean, like for me, it was like stages. It didn't just happen. Like, it was more like
Yeah.
you're gonna have to like you have to like work out in a way. It doesn't just happen. You
Into
have to
what?
get fit in that realm, if you know what I mean. If you just, you might just like float around if you just kind of jump in there. And you don't know, you won't know what to do if you don't know what to
Mhm.
do. I don't know. I think that maybe they would have been practicing their whole life, like maybe leaving their body.
I think it's a.
How
And
did you
then
practice? How
Yes,
did
go.
you practice?
I don't practice on purpose, and I never intentionally tried to do it. So what happened is mine kind of moved from sleep paralysis, right? And then it kind of escalated to being in my apartment, and then that kind of escalated to being outside, and then that kind of escalated to traveling around recently. So it wasn't just like I woke up and I started traveling around. It was a very long process over many years.
What process did you engage in order for you to learn to possess or jump into other bodies? I mean, I imagine it requires meditation and astral projection, or how would you do it?
Man, you know, meditation, astral projection, these are things which are left to each other's understanding. Basically, we all, in a way, jump. We can see, dreaming as a jumping into a different medium or a different dimension. But I told you everything happens mentally, as to say, But usually when you dream sometimes that you are the one from this reality, this life. Other times that you are people from other lives, other realities, right? In a way, it's a freaking jumping into a different body, into a different medium to experience different other things. But you are somehow aware that you're dreaming,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And you never think of it as a body jumping because you just think of it that you're dreaming. If you're not, if you wouldn't be knowing that you're dreaming, you would actually be jumping into a different body, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you would be aware of how things actually work, right? If every life is a dream,
Sure.
and what you're doing is basically in a dream, body jumping, or at death, body jumping into a different body, into a different medium, right?
But
Or
I
a
guess
different reality.
most people are
It's
body
basically
jumping.
the same, just your awareness is different, or it's present or it's not. It's
I
only
imagine.
that.
I
Because
imagine that in this case everybody's body jumping, but they are not conscious of it. But
exactly,
how would your body jump but maintain but keep your memories of the previous lives? That's the key. Otherwise, how can you utilize the experience you gain in a lifetime? Can that be done?
well, if you keep your awareness in the moment in which you're dying, you have access to all the memories from your life that you lived.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't keep that awareness, it's clearly that you will lose the connection to those memories. You know?
Mm-hmm.
It's like switching off the light in your room. When you're dying. If you switch on the light or keep the light switched on, you will always have a connection to the things in your room because you can see them, in a way. But you are still connected to them. You can still have access to those things.
Mm-hmm.
If you switch off the light when you get from the room, you can't see those things anymore, and you lose
Okay.
that connection. You will enter probably into a different light where you switch the light on. You start to create memories um, from the other room, and you will lose all the memories from the previous room.
Yeah. Look,
All the things.
look. So, what do you have to say about this? Look.
Yeah, it's very interesting to hear about all these topics. I would like to know if there are some techniques or some teachings from some probably ascended masters or someone that could actually teach us how to body jump or how to prepare that before the moments of our death we could remain all our memories intact so we can evolve, let's say, into the next life. I don't know any names. You guys, some names, some authors, some ascended masters or something.
I don't know much about
That's
this
actually
subject. How about you, DJ?
because that's actually interesting because I feel like I had a sort of guide, like someone helped me to. I didn't just learn how to do it, or I mean, it's not something I would have ever done out of my own free will. Well, not like I was forced to, but I kind of just Like there was something always like, not always, but most of the time, there was something at the beginning, there was something in the room with me a lot. And then I think towards the end, I've been more like going on it alone. But a lot of the times, there was something, you know, talking to me or like, like taking me with it, or like, I don't know. It was very interesting.
So
Like
you
50-50.
actually, so you have like a guide, like someone that kind of keep an eye for you in the other side, or while you are astral traveling.
Yeah, so in the beginning, it was always something in the room that I could feel. And then I started, as I got more aware of it, I would kind of like go into that side and then I would see it in the room kind of thing. And then, but I wasn't moving. But eventually, yeah, the more it happened, then I would start to move. And then the more, then eventually I would be able to get up and then I would walk and then and then I finally went out the window. So it was kind of like an escalation type thing. And then eventually I got to the point where I would wake up and then I'd have a conversation with this thing about certain things. So it was kind of like there was something there with me some of the time. So I don't think like I did it by myself. I think maybe like I became aware of a spirit in the area where I was, and then maybe like just by having so much communication, I kind of like visited that side like a little bit now and then over the last 10 years.
And do you communicate with that presence just mentally or even vocally?
I don't know. It's only when like I'll wake up and then it's not often. I think it's only been a few times that we've spoken, and it's never like it's not violent. It's just a conversation. Like it'll just be like da 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 da, like short, like maybe a minute or two, and then it's done, gone.
You know, I have a
Not,
feeling, I have a feeling that everybody sort of body jumps after that, but they cannot do it consciously. They just it's like a reincarnation basically. But how would you do it? How would you actually and purposely directly jump into a body, let's say, of a wealthy person or somebody in a good position? Because I mean, you don't want to jump into a person living in third world, starving and with disease. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So how would you direct your energy towards a good situation, or how would you do this, Wu?
That will be awesome because now that you say that, Lucifer, I was thinking that most of the Hollywood movies or Disney movies actually they kind of roll into our faces that kind of body jumping scenarios because um, like for example like the title of this movie was it was with Lindsay Lohan, I guess it was Freaky Friday or some Freaky Friday, I guess.
Hmm.
And when people just switch, let's say, personas or personalities, a daughter into the mother and the mother into the daughter, and I think that this there are some kind of maybe the royals or maybe the very I don't know people with special knowledge and training. I do believe they actually can jump into each other's body. Maybe they just jump into someone else's body and they stay there inside for a while, and maybe they just jump out and come back to their own original body. I do believe that that could be possible, but as I was saying, maybe just in the occult societies or very, if you're a
Well,
Mason
actually,
33rd degree,
well,
you know that, yeah.
this knowledge about jumping bodies is actually an occult knowledge. So I guess the way you access this is by understanding the left-hand path. I believe this might be an aspect of how to do it. I don't know a specific book or teacher, since I really don't expect to jump into another body. I expect to just create a universe for myself. But I know we
Hmm.
would like to jump into another body. So we will. How would you direct your energy into jumping into a proper body? Comfortable body where you will be well off. You know what I mean?
You guys are.
But yeah, but I have a question. But the other person, you're talking about jumping to another body's person. But the other person is going to be aware, or it could be anywhere without being aware that you want to jump inside that person's body.
We will.
What? I didn't understand the question right now. Sorry.
Yeah, I was asking that Lucifer was saying that he would like to jump into another person's body, but how could he direct that energy? But my question is the other person is going to be aware that you are going to jump inside his or her body, or is not going to be aware?
It's not.
Well, at the beginning of the conversation, I stated three ways in which you can actually jump or possess a different body, right? So it's easier for that person in whose body you are going to jump to not be aware of
Yeah.
it,
So that's not the question I'm asking. The question is,
Otherwise, it's a sort of agreement with the person
well,
in
let's say,
whose body you're going to
well, let's
live, you
say you
know?
want to jump into a well-off body. Let's say somebody wealthy, somebody with power. You don't want to jump into somebody living in the streets. So how would you
Man,
direct your energy?
honestly, sorry, Lucy, but you are seeing this in a wrong way, in a very complicated way for you. It's rather, how to put it, you have very few chances to jump into a rich person's body because that person would want to keep his awareness because he's already rich. He wants to enjoy what he has if he still has to live.
Hmm.
So if it's not in the moment of his death or her death, just let's say just his because it's easier to speak, you will not be able to do it. What you need to do is actually to find a body in the right circumstances, in the right location. You know, if for example you have in mind to jump into a body so that you can be rich in that reality, in that life, you will have to know where you want to live in that reality so that you can become rich, you know, and what type of body you want to inhabit, if it is a male or a female, what range of age, if you want to jump into a kid's body so that you have time to um put all the knowledge that you have from this life
Hmm.
into that one at work, you know. If you jump into a kid's body, you will have to take in consideration that you will have some years of education to go through in the other reality, and from there you can start after that to make your way to become rich, you know. You have to have all this prepared in your mind when you're jumping, you know.
Hmm.
So if you want to already jump into a rich family, for example, it's very hard because you will have to find a body which, as I told you, it's either in a coma state, in a comatose state. So you will need to find a rich person or
Hmm.
from a rich family who had an accident and is in a comatose state, you know?
Hmm.
Or you would have to have that rich person already prepared for this.
Hey,
And this
are
is
we not
very
going to talk about
difficult, you
ethics
know?
here?
What, DJ?
Are we not going to talk about ethics here?
About what?
Ethics.
Well, ethics. Oh, come on.
I
Do you
thought
think
about
anything? Ethics are dictated by culture, by religion, and so on.
Correct.
yeah.
Let's be honest in here. You can take advantage uh, in many situations, you can find, for example, if you want to enter an aware being, you will have to find someone from a cult, probably, who wants to be possessed, you know?
Yeah, there's too many of
Because
them out there.
there are many examples of this too. Many cults in which they are open to being possessed from another spirit, you know? And
Yeah.
there, this is very possible to do it with an unaware being which is accepting this kind of situation, you know, and the so-called priests or leaders of the cult will prepare that person for this because you
Mm.
basically for the masses there is no knowledge of this and no one will want to make public such sort of things because it's not in the beneficial of many cult leaders
Why?
and so on, you know. But
Why
if you look
would?
in the ancient cultures, they all were having a sort of book of death, you know. The Eastern
Mm.
cultures had one, Egyptians had one, and so on. But in those book of deaths, which are known by the public, those books were made for the public because they are only preparing them for the next life, you know.
Hmm.
But there is additional information to this which is kept in a very small circle for people who
I,
actually want to take advantage of body jumping, you know.
I don't understand why people would want to body jump. I mean, when I was so comfortable, you know, you don't have any limitations, you don't have any physicality. You have your mind and emotions, but you don't have anything. Like you're completely free. So I don't understand why would someone want to be in a body? Because what I experienced, I mean, I never tried to get in a body because I didn't want to be in one. I just enjoyed the freedom. I mean, I would see people walking around in the street or in their houses or something, but I never tried to. I wouldn't have wanted to because it was better.
I
It was
will agree.
nice.
I will agree with
Like,
you, DJ. Having a body is a curse. You get disease, you get pain, you get cold, you get heat, you get hunger. Having no body is a blessing. You know, I would not like to jump into a physical body again, but I would like to experience a
That
different reality.
exactly for this reason there is no book available for the masses to body jump into a different body, you know, because you are viewing things from such a mundane point of view, as to say. But you never take in consideration that maybe there is a very strong and powerful spirit who can gather knowledge for many generations. For example, if it's capable of body jumping and who could be a formidable leader and who would be wanted by many cults, not only religious cults, but maybe even political or economical cults, because there are all sorts of cults in this world, and who could actually help leading an entire world, you know?
Hmm.
If you would have, for example, I don't know, guys, who is the most cherished character in this world for you. For some it's Tesla, for some it's Einstein, for some it's I don't know who. But if you could have Einstein jumping into a different body so that he could live another world, if you, for example, appreciate Einstein very much, you would be happy to have him still living and probably
Sure.
finding other discoveries in physics, or Tesla, for example, or who knows who else, Alexander the Great for other people, and so on, you know.
Who do you think?
Easiest way to understand this is people who, in, for example, Satanist cults, as they are called, a few cults nowadays, or so how they are calling themselves, who are eager to be possessed by demons or for another powerful spirit like, I don't know, Beelzebub or Satan or whatever else they want. It's all about what you could be able to achieve during the life that body has, uh, for which you would agree to be possessed by a different spirit. It's all about that.
Which you think like the royal family of England or Saudi Arabia, could these people be actually human beings that jump into those bodies, or they are not that sophisticated? I mean, I don't think they are in the know, but maybe I'm wrong.
Probably they know about something like this because most of the royal families are also part of some spiritual organizations, cults, like either Masonic cults or, all sort of stuff like this. But usually they are part of Freemasonic rites, and they have access to this kind of information. Other than royal families, Dalai Lamas in Tibet and so on, circles of important monks, clerics in Eastern religions also have access to this kind of information. Also, the Vatican has access to this information. For them, it's they put it always like possession and of bodies, you know, and yes, they have this information at
Could we
hand.
have people like from the time of the pyramids walking on Earth now, fully conscious of the memory of millions of thousands of years of life and body jumping? Could that really exist today in this moment?
There can be.
I cannot imagine that the person probably will be like a super cultist heading a dark yet intelligent underground group. I don't know how would you react if you were something like that? What would you be doing in the world? I don't think that person would be satisfied with a mundane life.
It
Maybe.
depends on what you want to achieve in your life. I mean, if I would jump in a different body, for example, in a different reality, in a different life, I would jump with a plan already in my head with what I would want to achieve in that life. For example, if I want to map my existence in this earth reality for 1000 years, I would be sure to pick the bodies in the right circumstances that would actually help me continue my plan.
Hmm. Look, what do you think?
Yeah, I think that that would be incredible if someone can actually, like having an immortal existence. Let's say jumping from one body to another. I really believe that the royals, those kind of people, they're really, really wealthy and powerful people. I do believe they just don't die and that's it. I think that they, like we were saying a few minutes ago, I guess they just moments before they jump into another body, probably a relative's body, so they always keep the riches and the power, all that power, uh, like in a straight line forever. I believe they probably they are thousands or even I don't know, hundreds of thousands years old. Who knows? Who really knows? Maybe those I think they are not humans. I think they are more likely like entities that, for some reason, because I really don't know, they have that power, or someone or something gave them all that power on Earth, and they just keep ruling and keep getting stronger and richer, generation after generation. I do believe that that's the case with the royals, the late Queen Elizabeth II, and now this her son Charles the Third.
Mhm.
Man, you guys, you have to take in consideration that information is power, you know? In such situations like royal families or, I don't know, very important people, small circles of very important people, it's not even about body jumping. I mean, if that can happen sometimes, it happens with their agreement and so on, but it depends on how you use the information and how you transmit it to the further people continuing your plans. That richness and the way in which some families are keep going forward for generations and for lives and lives. It's because during someone powerful life, he's already starting to teach his how it's called, the person who is coming after. I forgot the term. It's not predecessor. It's someone you live after. Successor, yes. They start to prepare their successor when they are still in life, you know. So all the information, they basically transmit all their knowledge to the successor. So sometimes it's not about body jumping, it's only about transmitting the information to the right person who will continue your work, you know. Because that's what most of the people cannot afford to do, is to plan in advance for a long period of time, because most of the time normal people don't have to with whom to share the information. You know that poor people are greedy and they usually just wait for the person, richer person in their family to die to inherit their richness, not their information, you know. So the information is lost. There is not a longer plan for the family to be rich in for more time, and that's why it happens that a poor family cannot keep the knowledge and their whatever richness they have for a longer time, because people are not even interested in that. They have other priorities, you know.
Sure. How long you think a being can jump into bodies? 1,000 years, 2,000 years? Is there a limit of time or bodies that a person can take?
Mm, I personally don't think there is a limit, as long as you have as long as you find always a compatible body, you know. Because if the body is not compatible, then even the spirit starts to decay in
Hmm.
time, as powerful as it is, you know. It's, I told you, it's easier in the to do it in the same bloodline, because blood matters a lot in this kind of situations.
In the way you're putting it, could it be people from 60, 70,000 years ago, or from the very beginning, the people that live in the most remote times? Could people like that still be here?
Yes, it can be. I told you, if you find the right body, of course, why not?
Hmm.
Time is relative. It's relative to the lives that we are living and to our circadian rhythm that we have in a body, you know?
But
Outside of the body, time is pretty much
and tell me,
either a second or of eternity, because you don't have a way to measure it like you measure in a body, you know?
you
So
know,
you can have an ancient spirit inhabiting a body even 2000 years from now on.
hmm, everything has a finite time. Bodies die within 100 years. Planets will eventually die. The sun eventually will run out of light. This planet is not going to be here forever. What happens when
calm.
this planet ends and there is no more biological life? Where will that spirit go?
And nothing really ends. You know that the end is only the beginning, right?
But let's say this planet ends and there is no possible life here. There's no possibility
As
for
I
life.
told you,
What happens?
it doesn't end. It will start in a different reality. So basically, nothing ends. Okay?
Hmm.
Why cannot end a planet? Why can't? Why it's not possible?
Yeah.
My question is why a planet cannot end? Why? What keeps that planet from ending?
Saving memories keeps everything from ending. You know?
So you're implying
And
that we would just keep remaking it every time we are born? Yes.
physically, let's
Yeah.
put in like this. Physically, maybe this planet will at some point end, and also physically, everything will restart on a different planet, which will be exactly like this planet. You know?
Hmm.
Physically. But mentally, nothing ends. Everything is based on memories. So, memories, as long as you have the memories, nothing will end. And it's very hard to erase memories because they are always reinforcing each other and saving themselves again and again through each life that is lived, you know? So, yeah, from a point of view of materialism, of physical things, you
Mm.
know, you can see it as ending and beginning on another planet and so on. From the point of view of information, energy, and so on, nothing ends. Okay?
Could this planet be simply a chain of a different planet of a different time? Could we just this be could this be just a secondary reality from where we came in a previous time? I mean, you know what I mean?
I think so.
Yeah, DJ, what do you think?
I have a question, guys. I have a question for Wu. Um, Before continue
Sure, sure.
with this topic, um, we were talking about beings or people that, like the robots that jump into another body. My question is, once let's say someone jump inside another body, is it possible to let's say reverse that situation to let's say take that being or spirit that inhabits a new body? It is possible to make it go away to like in the church they say exorcism and everything. It is possible in real life to heal or to take a spirit that jump inside a body to take it out of that body.
It's possible, but it's very hard to do it.
Why?
How can we do how and who can do that?
It's like in the mostly like in the movies that you're seeing. If the body that if the spirit uh, which is possessing you is more stronger, more powerful, it's very hard to kick it out. You know, to kick that spirit out, because you will need a moment in which your awareness to come back together, as to say, to be in your aware state in which you realize that you have to kick another awareness out, and you cannot do it unless you both awareness are in the same status, in the same how to put it, point where are aware of each other. Otherwise, you don't have anything to kick out because you're not aware of it, you know? So it's very hard to do it by
Mostly,
yourself. That's why
lots of people didn't
it's
even
needed
die.
an external factor which will basically make both awareness to come forward, you know?
Oh, I see. So do you think that what the Catholic Church does with the exorcism, do you think those things are real or not, in your opinion?
Things like that are real, yes. Many times that they are not as you see on TV, they come to the cross and all that. But yes, they are real.
So if I understood correctly what you just said, Wu, you said that, for example, there is a possession, someone is possessed, and I am the priest, if you will, or something. That priest need to bring forward the awareness of the person that is possessed and the awareness of the spirit that is possessing the person both at the same time in
Yeah,
order to be able to kick out the spirit. Is that correct?
yeah.
But why
Okay.
why do why do demons, if they possess a person, why do they make it obvious? I feel like it doesn't make sense, right? Like if you were a demon and you did possess someone, why would you act in a way that would look like possession? It just seems like
Logical.
counterproductive.
Correct.
That's it's put in the movies like that so that you can understand that that body is actually possessed, because if doesn't show any kind
Mm.
of possession you will not even understand, so they
Mm, I don't think
exaggerate
like people
everything.
would try so hard and then they would like run around like, ah,
Yeah, man,
oh,
but
I don't
that's a
know,
movie,
killing
you know.
people.
That's a movie in normal life, as to put it, because none of this is pretty normal for any normal person in this life. But in let's put it like this: in a normal life, spirit would not act in that way because, as you said, it's
Exactly.
counterproductive. It's like with the movies with the vampires. You cannot understand why the fuck the vampire who would actually want to suck the blood of someone would start to hiss before doing it, to just tell the people, I'm a fucking vampire, he's singing here, run away. I mean, it's counterproductive for a
Yeah.
vampire too, but they are putting
That's
it like
why
that
I
in
feel
movies,
like
you know.
a lot of the cases are like mental illness because I don't feel like
Well,
a real spirit would be
split
so
personality,
obvious.
for example, sorry to interrupt. I wanted to tell you guys this for maybe half of our take. For example, the split personality.
Mhm.
Mm.
No, something like that. In a split personality, you have two or three awareness, which are called personalities, inhabiting the same body. You know.
Sure.
Another question for all of you guys. What was my question? I appreciate that Wu answered my question. So if I understood correctly, um, the priest, the exorcism, in some cases are real, but that means that um, when the priest is performing an exorcism on a person that is possessed, in order to bring forward the awareness of the spirit and the person that is possessed, they use different books. They use a book of the exorcism. But my question is, does that mean that actually, for the people that do not believe in religion, that are atheists, for example, people that don't believe in Jesus Christ or Mahoma or David or Yahweh or any other entity or a powerful figure, religious figure. So does that mean that actually, if uh, taking calling an spirit, an evil spirit, out in the name of Jesus Christ, so that means that actually Jesus Christ is real because the spirit is responding, is reacting to the name of Jesus Christ? Is that my question? How can that be possible if some people are atheists or don't believe in religion. So any religious people will say, you know what? I was in that exorcism, and when the priest call and say the name of Jesus Christ, that's when the evil spirit react or got out of the body.
Well,
So
I
that
think
means that Jesus is real.
no, I think if depend on the belief, I imagine. If the person believes that
Exactly.
Christ is real, then they will react according to that belief, right? Well,
It's not quite that. I told you you have to bring forward the both spirits. In the cases of exorcism, people are basically religious. That's why you go to a priest for an exercise, how it's called. So in that case, it's very easy to deal with this because um, the shutted up awareness is that of a religious person. You have a so-called demon possessing and a religious person, and the religious person will see the spirit which is possessing the body as a demon, right?
mhm.
So to bring forward the awareness of the religious person, you come with a Bible usually or a crucifix, because those are the how to put it, major symbols
Yeah,
of the
those
Christian
are
religion.
symbols. Those are symbols
You
played
know,
according to their belief. Then they react to
exactly.
spell.
They
Yeah.
react to the symbols of the religion in which they are born. So that the awareness will come forward by recognizing the Bible and the crucifix. You know, it's like waking up that awareness. Look, this is your Bible. Wake the fuck up. You know, and the spirit will come forward of the person who is possessed. And that's why you have this, how to put it, idea that it's happening because of Jesus Christ, or because of the Bible.
Hmm.
It's only that the awareness is recognizing those symbols and comes forward. And when it comes forward, the chances to kick out the other awareness are much greater, you know,
Yeah.
because your awareness is basically fighting to kick out the other awareness because it has a support in there. It sees a Bible, it sees an external factor which is supporting it to fight that
Bel-
other spirit out. You
belief,
know?
belief
That's
is
what
For example,
because
I am not religious. I am not religious. That's why my question. That's why I ask you guys that question. But okay, I understand perfectly what you just said. Wu. Yes, people that believe in Jesus Christ or are Catholic, they are going to react. Let's say the person that is possessed is going to react to the Bible, to the Holy Water, the crucifix. But if the demon that is inhabited that person, that is possessed that person, if the demon really is stronger, I mean, how? I mean, the demon is not. How come the name of, as I say, any god or any powerful really figure, let's say Jesus Christ again, how come the name of Jesus Christ is going to have some real effect on a demon, on a spirit that maybe, I
I
mean, I don't
just told
know.
you, it doesn't have an effect on the demon. It has an effect on the people who, on the person who is religious in there, who was possessed, not
But
on the
basically.
but
demon.
how come the spirit is kicked out of the body if the spirit, if the demon, it just doesn't care about any Jesus Christ? Why makes that exorcism successful? What makes that spirit really
And you
get
said
out of the body?
nothing.
I explained it to you before, honestly.
Is the
Just
Yeah, it's
person
just
told you.
DJ? What?
no, I was saying that we explained it pretty well.
Yes,
It's,
basically, the person reacts to the belief, to the symbols, to the religion. Is the person expelling the entity, that being? It is not the being itself reacting to any belief. Is the person belief reacting and expelling?
So it
Even if
could
the
be
person
any religion. So it could be a Muslim maybe or a Jewish religion. It will be the same result, right? Any other religion could be the same result.
Like, if the
yeah,
person believes, yeah.
Okay.
even
It's
if the person doesn't believe or know of Jesus and they know what he stands for. So if they're in a state where they need to, like often people will like like they know of him. So if they're in a desperate situation, then they will believe in a second. You know what I'm saying? So they might have been previously non-religious, but there's always a door.
You see, in people without, in non-religious people, you will not hear about possession stories or anything. First of all, because atheists don't have this kind of attachment to other spirits, gods, and so on. So basically, a person who doesn't believe will not give chances to any other spirit to jump in, because their awareness is most of the time on the same level. They don't go in a trance during a prayer or anything, you know, because they don't pray. So rarely, even if there exist cases of so-called possession in the non-religious person, in atheists, it can't be acknowledged, you know?
Basically,
Wow. So you just, I'm sorry. So
I was going to
you
say,
just say something.
I was
So
going to say, basically, a
yeah.
demonic possession is to be possessed. Basically, when a religious person gets possessed, he gets possessed by the idea that he's possessed. If you believe in
Hmm.
demons,
Hmm.
it's very likely that you can be induced to be possessed by a demon because you believe in the religion and the belief in the demon is so strong that your mind will play itself like it's
Hmm.
being possessed by a demon. And to expel that demon is to basically make that person believe that you can expel that being through the religious ritual. That's basically what the priests
Mhm.
are tricking people through exorcism. It's a trick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what you just you and Wu said is really important, because if I understood correctly, the religious people are the ones who are in danger to be possessed, because they pray, because they are frequently enter in trances that maybe the spirits can possess them. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Usually the easiest way to possess is during, as I told you, trance state. Another state like this you can find in the so-called meditations, you know, especially if they are not done in the right way. It's easy to possess someone who is in a meditation state.
Oh wow! So maybe the religious people, I mean the whether the church or the Islam or Jewish or any other religious, maybe they do more damage to the people than a good, right? Because they are put all those people that believe in something in danger to be possessed.
They can be
Well,
possessed
it's
because they
still,
believe. As long as you believe in beings, gods, demons, forces
Hmm.
outside yourself, you can be possessed by them. If the
you
belief.
can't say that they are doing it a wrong thing, because let's be honest, in here people are inviting this. Oh God, bless me with your spirit, do this, do that. Aren't they shouting like that when they are praying? What the fuck? Honestly, they are the ones inviting all things onto themselves. So
Well, that's
Because
good.
those things are like rituals, right? Like
Hello?
yeah,
Yeah,
something like that.
yeah.
that's correct.
You can see people almost in ecstasy when they are praying. It's strange how people really transform themselves if they believe really in something or someone.
Yeah.
Well, that's
And if the spirit who is possessing them is doing things in their beneficial, for example, when they have a moment of awareness, they will say that they are possessed by the Spirit of God. If the Spirit is doing something contrary to what they would be expected, either by those around him or her, or by him or her self when they are aware, they will say that they are possessed by a demon, of course. So, you know, it's all about how beneficial this possession is for people.
Yeah.
Beliefs manifest
Yeah.
reality, so that's why we always have to be careful what we believe. Humanity has been left
Mm.
vulnerable by the religious beliefs they have been subjected to. So now they believe in demons and angels and gods, and so all these, if they are influenced, can be aspects of possession for them, and this possession can be utilized against them, to control them, to extract the energy, and to use that energy to manifest as a magician whatever reality you want. You can use humanity or those groups of religious people as batteries, where you place a belief system and then you extract the energy by controlling the behavior patterns. This is a form of possession, you know, through the thought form of
Mhm.
the God.
The
Uh,
egregores, kind of an
egregores.
egregor, right? Egregor.
Yep, yep. So religion is basically an egregore, a thought form, and is the priests
Hmm.
and magicians. Or I don't think most priests or people at that level are aware. I think the Vatican is aware. They are magicians. They're occultists, and they're aware that
Yeah.
these thought forms can control the masses, and they utilize that energy to extract wealth and political power from the masses. So it's a form of
Lucy,
exorcism. Yeah.
Lucy, I remember. Sorry that I interrupt you. I remember reading some of your one of your threads a long time ago that you said that I guess Moses used an egregor to have all those powers or something like that. Like actually was into it was a kind of a black magician or something. Can you tell us about it, please?
Well, Moses, if he existed, I don't know. He was a magician. He conjured the god and then implanted the belief on the Israelites. And when the Israelites believe it, then the God manifested to a degree into reality, meaning that he was be able to use the God to manipulate the Israelites into a religious belief, which in eventual time it affected the entire human race. It became three religions. So he probably invented a God and create an illusion clever enough to make believe the Israelites that this God was real, you know. And so he was a magician, and he tricked
Yeah.
the Israelites. What do you think, Will?
There are many possibilities. Probably there is also a more sci-fi possibilities in which the god had sort of not spaceship but a sort of airship, and Moses, when that God would see that Moses has problems, would actually contact Moses, say, Moses, Moses, there's God, Moses, be careful. We have to make some laws. Your people are a little bit crazy. Shit like this.
So we almost been an
Can see
hour.
it as magic and all that. You can see it from a technological point of view. You can see it from many points of view. You know, it could have been just a psyop made up by Moses. Moses, he would play crazy in there and tell people that he's possessed by the spirit of Lord, so that he can actually implement a sort of organization in that little society that he was leading in there.
And
Yeah, I think that Mirth was the only one. I only believe in that. Like, I only think Moses was, like, personally, I'm talking about my personal beliefs. Moses seems like he might have got the Ten Commandments. Like, the Ten Commandments actually make sense to me, but I don't know about all the other books.
well, a lot of those Ten Commandments were just general ethics that humanity was aware of. He did not introduce anything new. You always been aware not to
You just
kill. I
how
mean,
primitive people were back then. To them, that would have been something very, like, new, not like what I'm saying is like to us it seems obvious, like the Ten Commandments are obvious, but people in
mm,
those days were crazy. Like, so
across time, humanity has always been generally understood that killing or raping or stealing is wrong. So I think he just took general ethics and put them into those Ten Commandments. What do you think?
No, human nature. People want to steal. People want to. If
Yeah.
they get in a
Yeah.
rage, they want to
You
murder.
know how it
It's not.
is. You
It's not obvious.
you travel with your family, for example, right? And you just want to tell your family that they don't have to throw the garbage, I don't know where, then they don't have to kill everything around and all that. Your family will start, oh, shut the fuck up, Moses. What's wrong with you? I will do whatever I want. So Moses had to put up an act in there in which an external, special, powerful force comes and helps him to enforce these laws, not throw the garbage in all the places, to not kill everyone around. In that way, the people with whom he was walking the world in there would actually hear him, be impressed by the external force and hear his laws and start to implement them. Otherwise, he wouldn't have, how
You
to put
know,
it, the authority. So when you are not heard by your people, you have to put up, a special act in there so that they are impressed. It's all about presentation.
what Moses did.
Yeah, I guess
What?
it's all.
Yes, yeah.
I mean, I read all of the books of the Bible, and I believe in Exodus
Hmm.
and Isaiah, and that's about the only two that I believe were authentic prophets. I think the other ones were just some sort of mental illness, or yeah, it's
You
just my
know,
personal belief. But I believe like, the first five books and then Isaiah. The other ones are just full of nonsense.
what Moses did by creating that God, that requires occult knowledge that only magicians, satanists, or groups on the occult have. I think he stole that knowledge from the Egyptians on how to create gods, and then he used that knowledge to build a little god and to conjure the masses of.
But he didn't have to steal it. It's not that he stole the knowledge. He was raised at the court of some Egyptian ruler. So what the fuck? He had access to that knowledge. Most
He
of the people had access to nothing else but to work, and to their crop fields and so on. The only one having access to knowledge were those who were born in rich families, royal families.
So he stole that knowledge from the Egyptians and then utilized that knowledge to create the Abrahamic God and trick everybody into three religions that we have now. If the masses only knew what he did, uh, they will be pretty angry. But I don't think they will ever figure out it. This
So in
belief.
short, Moses actually framed the whole world and the whole world into believing in some egregore that he kind of create or at least call upon into the whole humanity.
He did.
At the time, he did miracles. That's what convinced people because people believe what they see. So it said he parted the Red Sea and he did this and he did that, which I think to convince as many people as he did, he must have done certain things, which is
I don't think he
part
did
of the
that.
reason.
We don't have zero proof that he opened the sea. There was science and technology that a lot of people, most people didn't know how to read or write. They didn't have any scientific understanding. There was some scientific understanding within the priests, the royal class, and so they could use a lot of tricks to make the general peasant people believe that the certain miracles were taking place, but they were just science and technology. It's possible that he did indeed cause certain things that make people believe that he was the prophet of God, you know. But I don't.
How do you part science?
What?
How do you part the sea with science?
I don't believe he did that. Um, that's just what the book says. I can write a book and say that I moved the moon or that I levitated or
Yeah,
whatever. And 1,000 years later, if I induce you to religion, you might believe that actually happened, but it's not necessarily possible that it happened. Maybe it did not happen. It was just maybe an invention to continue the trickery into the illusion that he had some type of supernatural power endowed by God. What do you think?
I think that if I would temporarily jump 3,000 years ago, I would be a god for everyone in there. Okay? That's what I think.
People don't
Just
realize, but
if you have access to the knowledge that the masses that don't have access to, you're like a god to them. Who controls the information has the power. I told you from the beginning. So as long as you have access to, for example, even to the date of an eclipse, but the rest of the people don't know, you will go out and tell the people, in 2 weeks, there will be a big wolf on the sky and will eat the moon.
that's
No?
basically what I was going to say. The South American priests, the ruling class, they understood perfectly when eclipses, when certain things will happen in the sky, and then they will make human sacrifices on that day, and make the masses
Yeah,
believe that they were gods. You know, and,
exactly. That's
and
how
that's how
you're
they were
doing
able to
it.
keep
Because
control.
you have to impress the masses to show them that you are much more powerful than them, or that you are supported or sustained, how I don't know how to put it, by an external powerful force so
Hmm.
that you can control them, you know?
Correct. That's
that's the
true.
one thing that I really like about the I don't know, God believers. Like, they don't try and convince people to believe in Him through miracles or crazy acts. They try to convince them with the fact that He is good and loving, and they appeal to the human, like, they really want benevolence, like a ruling benevolence.
Hmm.
So I think they appeal to people's good nature.
I think there was an ancient civilization that was very advanced, and a catastrophe took place. And out of the remnants of that catastrophe, the people that came out were pretty advanced. In time, that knowledge, that technology, that system of understanding was kept with the priests, with the royalty, with the wealthy. And as the masses grew, they were not introduced into this knowledge. And so as the centuries went by, the millenniums went by, these people at the top will use this advanced technology or scientific understanding to trick the lower classes of humanity, just as they did on South America with the eclipses. They will tell people, on this day there will be an eclipse and God will blacken the sky, but it's because they had the knowledge of how these work. So that's how they did it. And that's, I think, what happened.
But
Anyway,
how do you think the world? How is the world here if there's no God?
the,
How do you explain?
well, we kind of talk about it today. The universe, the world is a stable dream. We are dreaming this planet, these animals, this universe. We are
But
collectively, yes.
something has to make the matrix. Whatever you believe in, something has to be the basis of the void. So you have to believe in something. If you believe in nothing, even believing in nothing is believing in something.
Well, it's not that I don't believe in nothing. It's that I don't believe in any God. I don't believe this world is a creation of any God. I believe this world is a projection of our subconscious. The human masses, which are not in awareness and education, they believe something outside themselves created this world, and so That's how they are controlled. There is a few of us that understand the mechanics of how this reality is manifested, and so we cannot be tricked with egregores or magic tricks. You know, so we've been talking for an hour and 20 minutes. I think this is going to be a pretty good, interesting podcast. So I want to hear each of you a summary of the conversation, of anything you want to add. Let's start with you, Wibu. Any last words?
Sorry, what did you say?
So we are about to
I
conclude,
was thinking to make a coffee. It was my priority right now. So tell me again.
but any last words before we conclude the podcast today
I don't know. What's last words? About what?
about the body jumping? Anything positive,
No,
negative?
no, no more words. I will do it when time comes. And I will continue my idiocies and enjoying the life. For
No,
you,
one
rest of you
coffee.
guys do as you wish. I don't care. What? Sorry.
She just wants coffee. Do it. You just want coffee. Go have your coffee.
Yeah, I will go have my coffee, you guys. It was very nice to hear you all, and it was pretty interesting. And yeah, about the last thing that you said in there about the tricks, by the rich people and so on. Lucy, you have to take in consideration that when you have to start a new society and so on, your priorities are on enlarging that society and making it functional that it can sustain itself. You don't have time to put up a public school so that you teach everyone all the knowledge that you have. That's why the knowledge was kept in a small circle because priorities were different.
Mhm.
You can prioritize the education of your people after your society is stable.
But now the world is stable. I think humanity should be open into
Many
this
times
knowledge.
people think that the knowledge was hidden with a goal from them because other people, rich people, priest people, and so on, didn't want to share it with them. But you have to understand that in the beginning, when you start a society with less people, some of them are really stupid and it's pointless to share the knowledge with them. So you can only share it with the people who understand it. And after a while, the people who understand that knowledge are less and less because the other people are busy with working and sustaining the society. And
Sure.
that's why it happens that for many years, knowledge is kept in a small circle. After you make the society stable and um evolves enough so that you can make education a priority, you can share the information. Unfortunately, at the moment you can share the information, many people are not understanding it anymore.
Mhm.
You know, that's what happens.
Okay.
Okay,
Nice.
I'm going to make my coffee. And
All
thank
right.
you
Well,
guys
let's
for
let's
this
give me
beautiful
5 minutes and
discussion.
we will finish. Luke, any
Mm.
last words?
Yeah, thank you very much for having me here, Lucy. It was a pleasure to talk with all of you guys, and I hope I can be in more podcasts of yours, Lucy, and very interesting topics that I'm sure we haven't finished talking about. Those topics yet. They are very interesting topics, and uh,
Mm.
yeah, especially talking about the body jumping was very interesting because I do believe that Israel is not just some sci-fi movie theme. I do believe it's real and it actually matches perfectly with all the current world events of like the death of the Queen Elizabeth II. Many people actually are saying that Liz, the Prime Minister of England, this truth is actually the Queen Elizabeth II, that she just body jumped on her. So probably that could be true. So there are many theories, but of course only they know, only the secret societies and especially the royals know what's going on. And yeah, very interesting topics. Thank you very much, Lucy. I appreciate it.
All right, look. DJ, any last words you want to say to close the podcast?
Uh, don't go into the light.
Have you listened to that video?
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just fucking with y'all. Okay, so what I would say is, I don't know, maybe consider the fact that maybe body jumping isn't the answer. I think when you finally die and your soul is free, you might just want to fly around and enjoy it a little bit. Don't be so eager to jump into another body because it's actually a nice experience.
I actually agree with you. I would not like to jump into another body. I would just rather be a first spirit and go into other dimensions, other universes. Anyway,
Mm.
any more you want to say, DJ?
No.
You're done?
Woo.
Mm.
No. So
I tell you to enjoy your coffee and good night because I think
Oh.
you might vanish. I want to say bye before you.
Good
Mm.
night. Have sweet dreams in there, okay?
all right. Thank you everybody for being in the podcast, and hopefully we will do another one in another time. It was an excellent topic to talk about. And so good evening for now, and see you next time. Thank you, everybody. Good night.
Thanks. Bye.
Okay.
Bye bye. Thank you.
Bye.
It's done.